I'm trying to help as many as I can see through a lot of these deceivers on YouTube and see through a lot of the deceptions.
The solution is very simple. It's what Christians tell me, faith without works. This is what this life is for, to do the work.
You have it reversed because Christians say that they just don't have to do work here. It's by faith that they're saved. Grace by faith. You're misapplying what Christians believe, you freaking idiot. So Matt says he hasn't had an NDE. He hasn't gone to the astral, so he hasn't had out-of-body experiences. He doesn't lucid dream. He doesn't do any of this stuff. But yet he's writing a book about it? He's the expert? So how's he the expert on this stuff? He says, why should he believe anybody about death when they're not dead? As though the dead have to tell him from death what's going on. He hasn't had any of these experiences, yet he's writing a book on it. He doesn't quite grasp that. People that make their living by YouTube and by donations and also write books about these topics, that's a red flag, whether it's Matt or Howdy Mikowski or any of them, right? For some of us, that's an automatic red flag. He's writing a book for profit. What experience, what direct experience does Matt McKinley have about this? He doesn't even really do any research on YouTube. He dabbles in this stuff and then he writes books. Every time he'll tie it in with the quote Saturn Moon Matrix. Every time the soul trap topic is mentioned, they automatically do what Matt does and say Saturn Moon Matrix, Saturn Moon Matrix. He's poisoning the well by putting that in there all the time. You know, he tries to poison the well. And that's why I think he's an agent, and I think that he's playing his role here. That's what I think Matt's role is. And that's why I think he has 91,000 subscribers. I think that's how he got there. And gets hundreds of comments and thousands of views in just 21 hours on a video. He gets over 7,000 views and over 545 thumbs up and growing. And that's how it works. That's how this system works. I don't think anyone real can get to almost 100,000 subscribers. I just don't see it. And what does this character, Matt, always do? Ties everything back to Hollywood. Everything. Constantly referencing Hollywood movies and putting your headspace in Hollywood. That's what he does. Constantly. Constantly. And that's part of how mind control works, by the way. That's part of how neurolinguistic programming works. And anchoring your mind to Hollywood.
I don't travel into the astral. And I'm not aware when I'm dreaming where I am, and I'm not lucid during the experience.
So he doesn't astral travel, he doesn't go out of body, he doesn't lucid dream, he's not aware in his dreams. But somehow he's an expert in writing a book on all these topics. He's such a hypocrite, because later on he talks about how people, he gives an example about someone and says, well, how could they write a book about that? I wouldn't buy it or whatever, because they have no experience. Well, dude, you have no experience in all of this stuff. But I think it bugs him so much that this topic is being discussed on YouTube that now he has to write a book and latch onto it and try to profit from it. And he's trying to poison the well as well. He's trying to make people look in his direction and look away from the truth. How are you qualified to talk about anything spiritual and to write a book about it? Finally, some people I think are outgrowing your channel and seeing what it is, finally. Unfortunately, there's a lot still there, as you can see by these comments. There's a lot that just don't get it. They're in the cult of Matt Earthers. He's so cocky that he thinks he has it all figured out, and he thinks he's so spiritually strong, and he thinks Earth is a school to fucking come here to learn. I mean, he doesn't look beyond himself to see what this realm truly is, and to understand it, and to really face it deeply. It's not an easy thing to do, but he hasn't done that work. Have you studied hundreds of NDEs, or have you just looked at a couple videos on YouTube and dismissed the whole topic? Have you been lazy, Matt? Because you talk about not doing research anymore. So you're writing a book about a topic that I really don't think you've researched. Why would anyone trust you? You don't have any experience, and any of these, you have no expertise, and you have no experience in these matters, first-hand experience, and you don't study the experiences of others. So how can you speak on these matters as an expert and write a book on the topic, or these topics? It's multiple topics, actually. How are you qualified?
Saturn Moon Matrix, or whatever.
No, we haven't heard that a million times except from you. I think you mention it every single time because you poison the well. That's what you do. You take a well with pure spring water and you put poison in it. That's what you do. You're trying to link it to something. These cult followers that just praise you, they think every stupid thing you say is funny. Another thing I want to mention is, why would anyone assume the deceptions end here? Let's set NDEs aside. Let's say you say, oh, every single near-death experience, including mine and some friends of mine that haven't posted videos about our NDEs on the internet, but we've discussed them in private. Not everyone who's had near-death experiences makes videos or does YouTube interviews about it. But let's set that aside just for a second, all NDEs. Why would you assume that the deceptions, this is a realm of deceptions, this whole place, that it just stops once you leave your body, and that no beings are going to try to deceive you? That there's no evil deceivers beyond here? I mean, that's ludicrous. That's completely illogical. It's absurd. It's delusional. It really is. It's far gone to think, well, it just ends when we leave our body, and that, all this deception's here, it just stops here. Why would you think that? It actually makes way more sense that deceptions do not end once your spirit leaves your body. Because we're in a supernatural place, influenced by demons. Here, you think that's just going to end just because you leave your body? Your physical meat suit? Man, I'm shaking my head. Archonic beings deceive you. Yeah, stuff just tries to deceive you here every fucking day in every conceivable way in this realm. You think it stops? I wish it did, but do I think it does? No, I don't. They have to keep death a mystery to keep people believing in the illusion of this realm and to keep this shit show going. But in another sense, it's suffering that is the biggest part of this reality, this realm. That's what it is. And that's clear if you study it, if you do what Matt hasn't done and really take a look at reality beyond himself. He's had 12 or 14 years of a YouTube channel, and I don't buy a lot of what Matt pushes, that's for sure. The biggest part of this realm is the mind wipe, because if you remembered other places way better than this, you wouldn't be worshiping this place, and you'd want to get out pretty badly. All the ones suffering in this realm in so many ways. Once you realize how big it is, the massive scale, and you really take a look at, and with diseases, deformities, disabled children, children that are abused their whole childhood in horrendous ways. and things that they're born with, that their quote God had them born with, and it's just horrible, man. And you'll see that this is a realm built on suffering. Can't fix this place. You can't fix a sewer, a stinking, rotten fucking sewer that's evil, into a beautiful garden full of goodness. It's designed to be this way. That's the way this realm is. It's operating as designed. I don't think any being that's ever been here has been able to fix it or figure out how to fix it in the history of this Matrix realm. No one has done it yet. But this is a realm built on suffering. It truly is sick and evil. Does Matt go there? No, of course not. He doesn't just stop short. He doesn't even go close to going there. He doesn't even approach what I just said. Not even close. So he really hasn't, he's proven, he hasn't really looked at this realm with honest eyes, deeply, and seen what it is and said what it really is. He hasn't done it, and I don't think he ever will. He honestly is stuck on the idea that the earth is a school, and you're here to learn spiritual lessons. To learn what? Stuck on the idea that we're here in this realm and earth, this hell realm, to do spiritual work, to learn and to grow, and this is a school, and the whole Dolores Cannon bullshit. He said it in previous videos. Once you're out of your body, you're no longer physical. I hope people understand. And I hope people understand what Matt McKinley's doing here. How he's trying to muddy the waters, how he's trying to confuse you. He's trying to instill all these doubts in your mind and stuff. And yet, do people doubt him on his channel? Or is it almost all praise in the comments? If you question him too much, he'll just ban you. Even if you're polite, respectful, you know, he doesn't like any criticism. Yes, you don't travel to the astral, you don't go out of body, you have no out-of-body experience. You haven't had a near-death experience, or several. You haven't had a shared death experience that you've ever mentioned. You don't lucid dream, you're not aware in your dreams. But you're writing a book about this. You have no experience. You have no experience, and you're writing a book about these topics. You're writing a book about this, and you don't have any experience. And you're very dismissive towards people that do have experiences. Talks about we're doing the spiritual work. What are you talking about? It's extremely vague. What spiritual work have you been doing, Matt? What spiritual work have you done? Because you don't strike me as spiritual at all, really. Plus, you've said various times over the years, quote, we've already won, end quote. Really? I think you're setting yourself up for the recycling bin. You think that? I think if you believe you've already won and that there's no chance of them tricking you or getting you back here, getting you recycled again or whatever the case, I mean, it's foolish.
I don't think so, Joel.
So he's saying the light here, the work here pays dividends. Actually, no good deed goes unpunished is the reality of this realm for good spirits. And we are well aware of it. Me and others. I'm not speaking for all, but I'm just saying, I know I'm not the only one that understands this, that sees this, that experiences this in life, knowing if I do a good deed, I'm going to pay for it. I'm not going to be rewarded or get something beneficial to me or something good is going to happen because I did good. It's the opposite. And I'll do it anyway. I'll do it to help someone knowing I'm going to be fucking punished somehow. And sometimes brutally with getting all of a sudden diagnosed with a health thing or, suffering somehow, right? But those of us that want to do good will do good anyway in the face of evil. In the face of this evil matrix, we're going to do it anyway. It's not going to stop us. But we don't expect some reward or, it doesn't work the way Matt says. It just doesn't. It really doesn't. And evil does get rewarded, though, for doing evil. They have lives of luxury, lives of leisure, worry-free lives, you name it. They have the yachts, the mega yachts, the mansions, the collections of fancy cars. They don't have to stress. They don't have to worry about, they'll never be homeless. They know that. They don't have to worry about all these sorts of things. They'll have the best health care, the best whatever for their children, their lizard children or whatever. I mean, look at their lives. And they do evil, and then they get even more. How it works here. And they know it works that way, the ones at the top of the pyramid or near the top that are evil. They're well aware that it works that way. They know it. He hasn't done the research. He always talks about doing the work. He hasn't done it himself. He's preaching something and he hasn't even done it. Actually, a lot of times he says research, you don't even do the research. It works by trickery. The whole thing does. Trickery, deception, disempowering you here, tricking you here, making you believe the light is good, making you believe in heaven. All the religions work towards this. All this shit. It's setting you up. Okay, that's what happens here. They set you up here for what happens after here. So anyway, he just doesn't get it. He really doesn't get it. It's like I don't know if he'd understand a sports analogy, but it's like a trick play. In football, you fake doing the handoff one direction, and everybody thinks the running back has the ball and he's running to the right side of the field, and you throw it to the left. Obviously, it's way more complex than that play, but I mean, that play sometimes has the whole defense going one direction, and they're going the other way. And when it works, it works. And for the most part, the shit that evil does in this realm and beyond here, it seems to work. So even if you want to be dishonest and say they're losing or they're stupid or whatever, it's been working though. So I never underestimate my enemy. That's what I don't do. So anyway, I do hope that you got something out of this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for thinking. Take care. Bye.